Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with some more information on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is about to be out at the end of this week. I am so hyped, only 2 days away. But this is about the Move Tutor liquidation and how it has been pretty much widely spread amongst water types. So if you guys can take a look on your screen, for Alligator, Azumarill, Barbaracle, Cloyster, Sharpedo, Crawdaunt, Samurott, and Bruxish all get liquidation. There are a few more, Caracosta, Buizel, and there's a bunch more water types. A lot of the water types do get liquidation, but I'll be talking about the ones that I feel like are most affected by it, and I do want to know your thoughts on that. So first off, the difference between liquidation and waterfall and all these Pokemon is 5 base power and the 20% chance to lower the defense of your opponent. So that 5 base power is actually a little bit important, especially in for Alligator's case, and I actually took the liberty of putting together the sets or showing you guys the sets that I felt that they would run. But this is Dragon Dance for Alligator, and it just drops Waterfall for liquidation. And in this case, there is no reason to have Waterfall over liquidation on Sheer Force. Sheer Force already gets rid of the power to flinch your opponent, and liquidation is just stronger. So we have a calc right here, and this is liquidation versus Waterfall versus standard Umbreon. And with Stealth Rock, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO, whereas obviously it's 85% chance to 2-hit KO after Stealth Rock. And this doesn't take into account the fact that Umbreon can protect after and get another turn of leftovers recovery, but it just goes to show you some power. And this is the standard set. It usually runs Jolly on Dragon Dance. Obviously you can run Adamant Swords Dance or Jolly Swords Dance at +2. We'll just give the +2 calc. Liquidation will always KO after Stealth Rock, whereas this one, it can KO after Stealth Rock, but not plus Protect, so it gets an extra 6% after Protect, which puts it at 95%. But this does 94.9 min. That does round down because it is Pokemon, but just goes to show you that Jolly, Swords, Dance, Gator can KO with Liquidation almost 80-something% of the time, close to 90% of the time, to, I think it's a little bit more actually, yeah. Maybe 93% of the time to KOing Umbreon, whereas Waterfall can sometimes fail to do so. So that's definitely a buff right there, just stronger. Azumarill also gets liquidation, and this is pretty cool because yes, you do miss out again on that chance to flinch, but the 5% increase in power, I'll show you a calc right here. This is liquidation versus physically defensive Scarm, 43 to 51%. So there is, while it is a small percent chance, 6.3% chance, there is a chance to 2-hit KO, but you never have to go off the flinches of Waterfall, right? You can actually 2-hit KO, and you do have that 20% chance to obviously get the defense drop. And the difference between this and Waterfall flinching, which is also, well, I'll show you right now. This is just a choice band set. Waterfall is also the exact same chance, right? The difference between that is one defense drop means that Skarmory cannot wall you. One flinch on Skarmory does not mean that it can't wall you. The next turn, Skarmory can obviously roost it off if it does not get flinched again and take the hit. But Liquidation can still 2-hit KO, and if you do get the defense drop, you beat Skarmory 1v1. Unless it's like counter Skarmory. So Barbaracle also gets liquidation, and this is pretty big because the thing about Barbaracle, and it actually got banned from NU, is that you don't have to, Razor Shell missed a lot, but now you don't miss, it's boosted by Tough Claws, and you have that 20% chance to drop. And this was like a standard set, you just remove liquidation with Razor Shell. Return was great because it gave you the +2 coverage to deal with Virizion, Pokemon like that. But yeah, now having a spammable move in liquidation that doesn't miss is amazing, and Tough Claws boosted. Same thing with Cloyster. Cloyster no longer has to run Razor Shell on its set. It can run Shell Smash, Liquidation, Rock Blast, and Icicle Spear, and that's one less move that it has to miss. I always hated going for Razor Shell because obviously while it does have a decent amount of power, not even, it's 75 and you get 10% increase in power, but it does have that 5% chance to miss. And if we all know about Pokemon, if it ain't 100%, it can happen and it will happen. That's nice, especially if you're trying to use it like an OU, dealing with Heatran, not having to miss, but specifically in the lower tiers as well. Just having that move that does not miss. For the most part, you are spamming Icicle Spear and then, sometimes Rock Blast, but just having Liquidation is pretty cool. Sharpedo also gets this, and it's not that big on Sharpedo. It is like a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Landorus Therian after Intimidate, which is pretty big, but Waterfall does near the same damage, though if it is Rocky Helmet, That's big. Again, this is assuming you're running Adamant, but again, just having that move that's stronger, because for the most part with Sharpedo, you're clicking Crunch, Psychic Fangs, and sometimes this isn't even Waterfall. This is Ice Fang. If you're playing Yu, for example, Yu doesn't always need Water Stab. You can run Crunch, Psychic Fangs, and Ice Fang, and that hits pretty much everything in the tier. Like the fire types like Entei and Infernape, they don't care. Like Psychic Fangs deals with Infernape, Crunch is 2 KOs Entei anyway. But just having a stronger water move, and sometimes this isn't good. Again, I'll go back to Azumarill. Sometimes you do want to flinch a Waterfall. In Sharpedo's case, sometimes you do need to flinch. Like for example, if it's Rotom versus Sharpedo and the Rotom's like at, I want to say above 90%, you're gonna need like a Waterfall, 2 Waterfall flinches. To put in KO range of Crunch. Sometimes 1 Waterfall flinch, but as Liquidation, obviously you can't flinch with that, but you can get a defense drop. But like that's pretty cool too in that sense. Like if defensive Rotom and Yu comes in on Liquidation and you do get the defense drop as it comes in, that's something that Waterfall couldn't do. Crunch ends up knocking it out. Crawdon also has access to Liquidation, like I did mention. Now Crabhammer is obviously stronger. It's 100 base power versus 85, and you know, obviously the drawback is that it has that 10% chance to miss. Liquidation doesn't, but I will show a calc right here. This is Choice Band Crabhammer. This is Jolly Choice Band Crabhammer versus Latias, which is in the tier regular Latias. It does 55 to 65, so it's a guarantee to a kill, whereas Liquidation does 47 to 55. So I just want to show that yes, there is that trade in power. And but besides Latias, for example, Primarina, I had this calc open before, but for example, Primarina, it's 2 kill by Liquidation. You don't have to risk missing. Obviously, Knockoff is also smacking it, but just in that case. But for the most part, Choice Band Crawdon actually runs Crunch as a secondary move, but I can see it now running Liquidation because obviously it's stronger than Crunch, and it's just a good spammable water move now because it already has Knockoff as a great spammable water move that doesn't have to miss, but now it can run Liquidation as well. On Swords Dance, this can also work. Actually, on Swords Dance, I think I wouldn't run Crabhammer. I would always run Liquidation, mainly because at +2, Crabhammer is always killing stuff. Or Liquidation's always killing everything. So I rather run Swords Dance, obviously either Hydro Vortex or Life Orb right here. But I rather run this on Swords Dance always than that. Samura runs Swords Dance, and again, in this case, Swords Dance Liquidation, just having that 5% increase in power. I know I'm being a little bit repetitive, but I'm just trying to show you that it is important to have this increase. And again, you're missing out on that flinch chance, which is sometimes useful for Samurai. But the cool thing about this move is you can always just click it without having to set up. And like again, it's not like Waterfall, where Waterfall sometimes you want to flinch something after you've already set up. Liquidation can sometimes make way for setup if you do get a defense drop on something coming in that would otherwise either have to go for a passive recovery move or switch out in fear of being KO'd. So pretty big. And then Bruxish gets it. I think on Swords Dance it doesn't matter as much unless you're dropping Aqua Jet, because the thing about Bruxish is it does have Psychic Fangs and Crunch, which are all boosted by Strong Jaw, but it doesn't have that good move of hitting Dark types. Typically it was Waterfall and a Choice Band set, but having Liquidation, being strong in the Waterfall, getting the defense drop, and if you are running a Swords Dance set, I could actually see Bruxish dropping Aqua Jet, but you typically do need Aqua Jet in the tier that you are running Bruxish, usually RU and whatnot, to deal with Salazzle. Maybe like a 50% Flygon if you're at +2, you can deal with that. So, but that does not help it deal with Dark types. So like I said, there are other water types that do get Liquidation, a bunch of them do, but I do want to know your thoughts. I think these are the main ones that were affected, and there are a couple more, but I think these are the main ones, and these are sets that you will be seeing on them come Ultra Sun and Moon, so I do want to get you ready. All this information can be found here. My bad, guys. I did start linking it below before, but I don't know, I completely forgot to give credit. I typically do give credit for that, but all the information can be found here, all found by these guys, and it's pretty much all put together on Smogon. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.